got it, baby. I finally got mine. I've been waiting on this for 4 months, bro. It looks so much better. Look at that. My machinist, Justin, thank you. Took a long time, but I understand that you're going through some things, but okay, YouTube, we getting into it. So we're gonna talk about 5 things I wish I knew when I bought my Street Glide. I'm gonna start with number 1. I would say handling wise, the Street Glide is probably the worst out of all the baggers. And what I mean by that is if you look at the Road Glide, you look at the Road King, the Street Glide technically has the most weight due to the fact the fairing is attached to the forks. So what does that mean? If you're making slow, tight turns, if you're, you know what I mean, trying to do some maneuvers, U-turns, things like that, it's going to be harder on the Street Glide than other bikes. And it's just the fact that the fairing is, you know, attached to the forks, and you feel that weight when you're turning the bike. You feel that weight when you're driving it. It's one of those things that I mean, it is noticeable. Like even a Road Glide, even though the Road Glide does weigh a little bit more than the Street Glide just feels heavier due to the fact that how they have it attached. You know, like we say, everybody says it every video, the Road Glide is attached to the frame, that fairing, whereas the Street Glide's attached to the forks. So getting past that, you know what I mean, handling, I would say, like, if I were to go again, and this is just me saying if I knew what I know now, because now that I got the Senna and things like that, I can listen to music in my helmet, I would have got a Road King, just because it does handle better. It's a lighter bike, and it's just I like that look of the Road King. But I still love my Street Glide. You know, Batwing gang forever. You know, everybody makes fun of us. It's the most popular bike. It's the Hey Brother bike. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But it's gonna bring me to point number 2. When you go to buy your bike, Harley's gonna. People don't realize Harley has a financing program that allows you to add all your aftermarket parts and all your gear right up front. So honestly is a really cool thing. So you can actually, you know, finance all your aftermarket parts and your gear with Harley if you want. I'm not sure if it's every dealership, but I know most dealerships do that. So but that brings me to that point is performance wise, I would not go with Screaming Eagle. Anything but like basic stuff like spark plug wires. I'm gonna tell you, I guess the cams aftermarket you can get way better. Big bore kits, there's a lot better options than the, you know, Harley 131. Everybody's gonna talk crap. The only advantage you get going with Harley's aftermarket is the warranty. If that's what you're looking to do, you want to keep your warranty, go for it. But me personally, my bike is always going to be my project. So the way I look at it, if I break something, I'm going to replace it with something better. So I'm all for aftermarket. It makes more power. The tuners are better. The options you have are better. It's in reality, it's probably about be around the same price because Harley charges a ridiculous amount for labor. So if you're able to do your own stuff yourself, or if you go indie shop that you can, you know, really trust and is recommended throughout the town, or where you're at, or even local, you can ride to, that's the option I would go. Now, when I got this bike, it kind of caught me by surprise because I was like, wow, you guys actually finance like aftermarket stuff with your financing. So when I originally bought the bike, I had a trade in, and I said, no, I'm good, because I was like, I'm gonna be happy with this bike how it is. And I ended up trading in my old bike, got a good trade in, and I ended up paying off this bike. So now really all I really do is I just upgrade it as I go. So like I said, if I don't like something or if something breaks, I upgrade it to a better part. So I'm not really the type that really wanted anything screaming eagle. When I saw the numbers, it was pretty disappointing. But aftermarket wise, there's so many options. SNS, Fuel Moto, T-Man, all those companies really build stuff for this bike that I personally believe is more rewarding than going through Harley. But Harley does have a great program that if you want to just get something straight from the jump with a warranty, I mean, go for it. And that brings me to point number 3. Get yourself a service manual. That way you can work on your own bike. You can avoid all those crazy labor hours, things like that. I mean, there's 2 things I'll say about a Harley. It's either you got a lot of money or you got some mechanical skill. So save yourself some money if you can learn how to do stuff and you're mechanically inclined. Get yourself a service manual, fix up your own bike, do your own maintenance, and then the things that you need to get somebody to do, save your money up for labor like that. So I'm not gonna lie, I did my stage 1 on myself. I had Harley do my stage 2, and I just did a pretty much a canned map for the stage 2. Once I did my own manifold, I added my SNS 55mm manifold, and then I had my indie shop. I found a guy that's real good, Chris Severe Cycles. He did my chain drive conversion, and he went ahead and did my tune. So I had him do pretty much, I added the SNS tappet cuffs, things like that. He did my tune. I made, for the most part, my stage 2 is bulletproof. I can ride it like a freaking jerk. The only weak spot is my clutch, which is actually, in this video, you can see my clutch is slipping, and it's slipping bad. So after I hit like 3,000-4,000 RPMs, it was slipping. And this is 2 years after I did all these upgrades. So I switched out my clutch plates. It's good to go again. But you can see I ride like a jerk. But that's what I'm trying to say is I've touched pretty much everything on this bike myself, whether it's the rotors, brake pads. I put a 21-inch wheel. You can see the headlights changed out. I changed my bars at least two times already on this bike because I'm never satisfied, but I finally figured it out. But it's a fun project, man. I think that's the best part about owning these bikes is there's so many aftermarket parts that you can go any direction you want. Your vision comes to life. So that's the biggest part I think about owning a Harley that's so fun is just customizing it. And that's why people love them so much, and that's why people buy them so much. Because, I mean, everybody's bike is very unique. This is going to bring me to point number 4. The Street Glide is the most, put it like this, not to be offensive to nobody, but this is an old man bike. If you really look at, when you go to any rally or bike week or, bike night, the old guys drive the Street Glide, and it's not the bike that's cool in the younger crowd. Everybody likes the Road Glides, the Road Kings, and the most popular, the Dynas. Like I've said 100 times, I can't wait till I get my Dyna. That's gonna be my next bike. This will be my bike I drive with my girl. The Dyna is gonna be the one I drive by myself around town. That's it. But the Street Glide is the old man bike. It's the hey brother bike. It's the bike that nobody wants to get no more because it looks like an old man bike. Now you can make yours the same as it is. Unique, let's put it like that. But I will say the Street Glide is the hey brother bike, the definition of it. Other than mine, because mine's way cooler than anybody else's. I'm sorry, I might be biased, but come on, man, it's sick. It's gonna bring me my last point. The Harley community, I will say, is probably the best community to be part of. I would buy a Harley again, just because everybody you meet with a Harley is so cool, man. Like when they see your bike and they want to ride with you, it's like a whole different, vibe. Like we're so interested and we're so helpful. It's the best community compared to the car community. Car community is a lot of haters, and people always talk trash about everybody's, work they've done or build they've made. The Harley community, everybody like is real cool. I've met so many friendly people. Instagram famous people from Harleys will respond to you and give you advice on how to build stuff. And it's just one of those things. Is like, wow, like people really don't understand it until you join it, and it's so diverse. Whether it's age, race, even gender. Like so many people drive Harleys that you don't realize, and like it's a whole different type of vibe when you go to these bike rallies and things like that. Like people are there to just have a good time, ride their motorcycles, and talk about their bikes. And it's like one of those things, like your pride joke. It's like when you have children, man. Like you go to like the parent teacher conference and you talk about your kid. That's how it is when you go to a bike rally and you talk about your bike and somebody asks questions. You're so hyped to talk about it. So that's my thing, man. Those are the 5 things I wish like I knew before I bought my Street Glide, and a lot of them are good. Some of them I wish I had a little bit more time to really not act on impulse. And that's another thing I'll say to people: don't act on impulse when you buy your bike. Really test drive it, really think about it, really look at all these other builds people have, and decide if this is what you want. You feel me? Don't just buy a bike because you're like, oh, I saw this one, is so sick. Make sure you see like where you're trying to go at the end of the day with your bike. If you're trying to keep it stock and leave it how it is, do it. If you want to make a performance bagger, do it. But don't go back to what you're building. Like I remember when I got this bike, it was really because I had a really good friend and he had a Street Glide, and I said, oh my god, the Street Glide is so nice. And it was a big wheel bagger. This is when big wheel baggers were good. So that was my plan in the beginning. But as I got my bike and seen how I ride and see what I like, I ended up wanting to go to the performance bagger side. So that's what a lot of people don't realize, is like you might start with one vision and you end up with another one. So make sure your vision is what you want from the beginning, and make sure you do your research and decide what you want. But on that note, I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the ride. Next video is gonna be better because I've got my clutch fixed. It's not slipping, and I'm gonna give him my boy Kelvin. Kelvin's my road dog. He got the red Dyna, so you're gonna see us get some trips in. So like, comment, subscribe, man, and enjoy the content.